Hello, welcome to Find You Fridays. Yay! Readings with me, Lorene. Alrighty. So, sorry for the delay in coming up, but I had to have some last minute snuggles. As you do, It's like, oh, I'm gonna be seeing you in a little bit, like in about maybe 2 or 3 hours. If you're awake. So there's always good luck snuggles that we have before I come on a Friday night. So yeah, if I'm ever late, that's usually why. I'm just having a last minute cuddle. How did I get so lucky? Hello, Anita. Hello, Melinda. Kim, if you're still floating around. She's been so good. Hi, Anna. Hello, my love. I hope Alex hasn't just put the heater on. I'm feeling all very hot and flushed. That's okay. We'll be all good. All right, let's get some of these admin-y type things done and dusted. All right. Go backwards. How has everybody's week been? It's been a bit crunchy for some of you, perhaps. Has it been a bit easy? What's been going on in your world? I'd love to know. Where are you? Come on. Come on. You can do it. How has everybody's week There we go. Yay. And let's bump that up so I can see it. Fabulous. And we can pin that one. Fabulous. Yay. All right, and I can see something else I have to change. Oh my goodness, all these settings. Okay, is that better? Yep, that one should be better now. Cool. Fantastic. Thanks for the heads up. I know, mixed bag. Yeah, I know, right? It was a bit of a mixed bag for me too. I had, I was dealing with a lot of letting go of stuff. Hi, Christine. And both physical and emotional and, yeah. But much like Melinda, my energy has been fine going all the way through, but it was certainly, there was some moments there where I was a bit crunchy, and especially on Thursday. I found Thursday to be quite challenging, so that was yesterday. And I realized a few different things were cropping up in my world around not only letting the physical possessions go, because I don't know if I actually said this. No, I ended up doing 3 days of decluttering for myself last weekend. And then from there, I ended up at work doing a further 3 days of decluttering with other beautiful clients. So that was 6 days of decluttering. And then by the 7th day, which was Thursday for me, I was just doing a deep clean of this family's home, and I was just so done. I was done with everything. I was done with mess. I was done. I just wish to go home and relax and, not have to worry about decluttering or cleaning or organizing or anything. And as much as I absolutely love this type of work, and it is a really big strength of mine, it's all about balance too, and the fact that I get to contribute to so many different people in their life and helping them to get their life back is huge, absolutely huge. And, to have the confidence and the knowing of, yes, I can do this now. And that to me is huge. I'm not in love with my background, so just give me a moment while I change that. Because where are we at? We've had the full moon. That was last week. But we do have A good old eclipse, a solar eclipse coming up. I think I am feeling this one today. Yep. Beautiful. Alrighty. So let me have a look at things of the shows. So Melinda said it's been really busy with the lead up to Easter at the hub. I'm so excited to see you on Sunday, love. I really am. Last Saturday was my slump day where I was really struggling energy-wise, but got through it. Have had good energy since. Yay! Good work. Hi, Edwina. It's been a bit fiery. Yeah, it has been. Christina, I've put my townhome in rental with an ad to areas. When will I find the right person? Oh, jeepers. Good question. Erin. Hi, Erin. Thank you for coming to play. So the way that it works is that there's the PayPal thing rolling across the bottom. And if you would like an extended reading, extended readings will always take preference. Then you can make a small donation of your choice, however much. And that's just to help keeping the show going. That's all it is. And because, what do you know, each of these things costs a bit of money to put together, all the different programs and platforms and stuff that I use. So yeah, it does. It costs a little bit to keep everything going. So I appreciate any donations. Find You Fridays appreciates it. And, you know, it's a beautiful honoring of space and time. So that's how this lovely show works. And then if we have time, I do some free readings. And then there's always a free meditation at the end. To start off with, though, we're going to do a Anna, I'm just going to read yours first. That sounds like me. I still have decluttering to do, and it's so frustrating. My daughter needs an MRI that was arranged for Wednesday. Had to put my son into nursery all day. He doesn't travel well. Daughter was worrying. Then they rescheduled it. Oh, no. Tuesday, my son went to his eye appointment, and he has a rare condition called ocular albinism. Oh, my goodness, Anna, you've been certainly dealt with some very challenging moments this week, haven't you? Hey, Kim. Hi, gorgeous soul. Goodness gracious, Anna. I hope that everything works out with a little bit more ease next week for you, or whenever they've rescheduled everything. Sometimes, you know, sometimes when we're given a diagnosis, it can work a couple of different ways for people, depending on your perspective. So the first way it can look is that some people go, oh, now I've got an excuse for all of blah, 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 blah. Other people go, now I've got the reason, and now let's see what I can do around that to either heal it, to cope with it better. What strategies can we implement to make life even more amazing than it already is, even with that in our world, with that added to the mix. These sorts of people are the people I love to work with. These sorts of people that use a diagnosis as an excuse to do nothing piss me off. And it's like I get annoyed with, and this doesn't matter, friends, family, anything. There's a space of allowance that I'm still requiring to work on for me around people who choose the excuse, and to just stop and not do anything to improve themselves. These people over here are my people. So these people over here don't tend to stay in my world very long. These ones do. You know, the people who have health conditions or disabilities or whatever, and yet still continue to try and excel in life no matter what is going on with them. They're my people. They're the people I love to be around, because, you know, there's just so much to be said for that. Like, there was one lady I was working with back in my disability days, and she'd had an acquired brain injury. She basically only had use of pretty much half or 2/3 of her body. But you know what? She damn well taught herself, or got, you know, did rehab and everything so that she could walk again. She works really hard on her speech. She goes to speech groups all the time. She works really hard to make sure she's keeping her mobility up as much as she possibly can. And it really, and she has this huge heart and loves to contribute to her family as much as she possibly can. And sometimes it's frustrating to other people, because how she does things is not always how they would do things. But the beauty of it is that she's really pushing herself to keep being, and pushing herself to keep contributing to the household, to the family. Oh, hi, Jeanette. Hi, lovely. So nice to have you both with us tonight. Love it, love it, love it. How did I get so lucky? Hi, Catherine. So lovely to have you with us too. All right, so my daughter has juvenile arthritis in almost every joint. The MRI is to assess the damage to her jaw. Interesting. Anna, I know that I probably talk about this a lot more these days, considering what has been happening for us. Have a look at the carnivore diet for your daughter. There's some really amazing things around inflammation and stuff like that, which can be reduced, if not eliminated, by doing the carnivore diet. So I would highly recommend have a look at that. Do some research into it. Get some case studies together of and people who have done it and have got arthritis or inflammation type conditions. I have done my own research before I started it. I don't have a lot of inflammation or anything. The only inflammation that I have is here in my finger, right here. And that came up after I started doing cleaning. So I was like, oh, I've obviously just bashed it a lot on the tip, which caused inflammation in the joint. But I did notice that mostly it's only in the last week that it's flared up a bit. And I know that there's been some other emotional stuff come through for me this week too. So that's likely where this is sitting. But I did notice that over the last 2 months that had reduced down quite significantly for me. It doesn't bring me pain or anything like that. It just gets a bit swelled up sometimes. So yeah. Christine, I've heard great things with the carnivore diet, thinking of that for myself. Yeah. So at this point in time, I am down 13 kilos from the 12th of January. This week has been a little bit with my weight, simply because I've had a lot of emotional stuff that I've been releasing. I've been in a bit of grief with letting go of probably about 8 tons worth of stuff. 8 cubic meters of stuff over the last weekend. And that has, as I was looking at the skip bin and all the things that had left my home to go to other homes, I was very much in that space of feeling like there goes a bin of memories. And it was memories and gratitude for the things that people had gifted to me when I really needed it, that I've used to death. It's the reason why they ended up in the bin. And the things that were able to be regifted, I certainly let them go to other homes. And there was a bit of a bittersweet moment, I have to say, and it was a relief, but at the same time still kind of hard to see those things go. So for the work that I do with my clients with decluttering and hoard clearing and all of that sort of stuff, I totally get it. I get it from, an inner standing point of view. Alrighty, so I just realized I have not turned my volume up a little so that I can actually hear your beautiful donations as they come through. Oh, goodness gracious, you guys are so beautiful. Thank you so much. So Mel, my lovely Mel, she is first up off the blocks. Then we've got Christine will be the next, and then Debbie Love will be after that. So, all right, we better get started into our weekly reading. Who wants to come play for the weekly reading? You do. Okay. Let's see how we're going to flow with this week. I'm glad that we had a little bit of a heads up about a bit of a bumpy ride last week. With it being the full moon and the first of the eclipses and all that sort of stuff, it was very intense. So yes. Yes, Melinda, I know about Bella. She sent me a message herself. So that's beautiful. Chris Cooking Nashville YouTube is a carnivore station where he shows his style of cooking. Yes, it's all very easy, really. It's just meat and eggs and seafood is what we eat. If you do the lion diet, it is only beef. That's it. You don't get to do eggs. You don't get to do bacon. You don't get to do pork. You don't get to do lamb or chicken or seafood or anything. It's just beef. So that's very restrictive. If we'd gone for the lion diet, neither of us would have coped with that. We require the variety, that's for sure. And these days we are more relaxed carnivore, but we sort of float between relaxed and more strict. But really the only difference between relaxed and strict is the herbs that I occasionally use. And there's a little bit of dairy that comes in. So we have cheese every now and then, sometimes more now than then. But I'm so grateful that we can get New Zealand cheese over here because last night, oh my God, I went shopping and I got some Edam cheese and I got some Colby cheese from mainland Colby cheese. Oh, I opened the Edam today. It's the first time in a very, very, very long time that I've had Edam, mainland Edam. And Debbie will get this because she's one of my Kiwi girls. And it was so good. And it always makes me laugh because Edam is made backwards. And it's great to just top off a meal. Like it just gets that little bit of, it's almost a sweetness, but it's not. It's obviously the fat content. But yeah, it's great. So, all right, weekly reading. And we're going from the 30th of March through to the 5th of April. Cool. So we haven't got the next eclipse will be about the 7th or the 8th of April. So we haven't got to worry about that one just yet. How can we best work with these energies? We've got a lot of stuff coming up already. Ooh. Interesting. It's better. Smoked cheese. Okay. Cool. Oh, we've made any cards. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Juanita. Oh, oh, that's very sweet of you. That's very sweet of you. All right, so Erin will be after the other three. Okay. So for this week, coming from the 30th of March through to the 5th of April, the first card that we've got is to balance your commitments. Okay, so promote equilibrium in all these things. So if you're finding that you've got Aww, all the kids. All the kids are having struggles today. That's actually not surprising. We've had a lot of energy shifts and this week. And before I continue with this, what I'm going to say is if your kids are struggling and they're sort of acting up a bit today, it could be that you have shifted a lot this week with the solar eclipse or the lunar eclipse, with going into the fire season as an Aries. We've had the full moon. We've had a lot of stuff that's helped us to release a lot of energy. And what that does is it changes our energetic vibration. So our kids and kids on the spectrum and stuff like that, what happens is that they kind of go, who the fuck are you? You don't look like my mum, my dad, my sister, my brother. You don't look and feel the same anymore. And so they get a little bit like meh about that. Okay. It's because they've lost their connection point with you. And that's totally okay. What you do in those situations, you can do a couple of things. One of them is to give them lots of hugs if they're willing to receive hugs. The other thing is that in meditation, just imagine, you can do this while you're sitting on the loo. If you got that's the only time you can take a breath, sit on the loo, do our lovely breathing down into Mother Earth and up into Father Sky, like bringing Father Sky down, bring Mother Earth energy up. And then imagine a tendril of energy going out to the heart, from your heart to their heart. And it will be the pathway for them to come and find you again. Okay. And that will help them feel a lot more calm and settled, because I'll be like, oh, there you are. Okay, I got you. But when we do big energy shifts, that's what often happens, is that not only does our body change for us. I did a 3-day body class where I was part of 13 different body processes over that weekend, because I was a group of 3. We got through a lot more than the others. The others only did 2, 4, 6. They only did 6 processes. We got through 13. And so by the end of that 3 days, my body was not responding the same way to touch. All the points on my body, which would normally be like, were just not working anymore. And they'd completely shifted to other parts of my body. So that was exciting. But it was tricky for my partner at the time, because they felt like, oh, geez, can't I do anything right? It's like, well, no, it's about you having to find what is the new way with me. So you've got to be in a really great point of allowance with your family and your friends, even, because even they can be like, what's happened to you? You know, you see if you feel different, you look different, you smell different, if you like, energetically smell different. So yeah, it's very simple and easy to reconnect. Just basically, it's just coming back, and you're just basically sharing those soul fragments backwards and forwards again. Okay. All the kids, eh? Gotta love it. All right, back to the weekly reading. Balance your commitments, promote equilibrium in all things. So just become very aware of where you're stretching more into your masculine energies rather than your feminine energies, because that's quite often the way it works, where you're in the do and not much of the nourishing, nurturing energies, where you're constantly battling to stay ahead of the game. Whereas when we're in our feminine energies, we're kind of like in that place of going, Okay, so what is required? What's required for the future? The feminine side tends to plan for the future. That's why the feminine side tends to have extra stocks in the cupboards and making sure that the laundry's done and all that sort of stuff. The masculine is more about survival in the moment. So if you're finding that your survival in the moment, you're probably in your masculine, and you're not in your feminine. Okay, so you got to balance. Bring those two things into balance. Be aware of where you're pushing really hard, maybe at work, and that home life is suffering. Okay, so just become a little bit more aware of where your energies are going at. The other thing that you have to balance with this one that I'm getting is to also balance what's going on up in here, between there and your heart. So your brain and your heart, be aware of what's happening with those two things, and where you're going in too much into monkey mind, and not enough into your heart space and nurturing space. Okay. Whew. Given that we are also, I forgot to mention, the 1st of April, we are going into Mercury retrograde. This is going to be the time, if you haven't caught my post on my Facebook page today, some very sage words from my friend Hara McCallum. And she's like, remember that Mercury retrograde is about slowing down, taking time, and just nourishing and nurturing you. And I extended on that today with a beautiful client by saying, it's not just that, it's about the slowing down and really integrating where you've come from. We get so addicted to searching for the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, and the next thing. And that addiction can show up in all sorts of different ways. It can show up as burnout. It can show up as hoarding of all sorts of things. It can show up as, a sexual addiction. It can show up as all sorts of things, always trying to get to the next thing, as opposed to just coming back and just being in that space of, where am I at right now? And where's the gratitude for where I am right now? Those of us who are in the metaphysical world, we're always trying to go for the next spiritual course, the next enlightening, the next leveling up, the next healing session, the next da-da-da-da-da-da. What Mercury retrograde does is it invites us to slow down and take time to breathe. So when we have those moments where the technology, because Mercury retrograde, as we know, quite often means that our technology goes a bit wonky on us, take that as a sign to take a rest. If you're at work and your computer goes absolutely batshit crazy, go, okay, walk away, go grab a cuppa. Go grab a cup of tea or a coffee or whatever it is. Go for a walk. Take a breath. Take it as your sign from the greater things that you've got too much energy swirling around going, let it go. Let it go, let it go. That's what Mercury retrograde's about. And it doesn't matter if it's this time or any other time. That's why it does stuff like that. Because we are very much a society of always moving forward. We haven't got it in our culture to slow down and be still. Even in wintertime, where we're supposed to slow down and just be calm and just, nourish and nurture ourselves and keep that energy levels as far as an output lower. That's what winter's all about, except for going and chopping the wood because you need it for the fire. It's like winter is supposed to be our slow down time, but as a society, we don't do that. We keep going and going and going and going and going like a little bloody Energizer bunny, but even an Energizer bunny runs out of energy eventually. So, Mercury retrograde is your invitation to gently slow down and acknowledge how wonderful and magical you are. The next card that we've got is transform your relationships, move on and move up. Okay. So you are going to, by the looks of it, be invited to, if stuff comes up with the relationship, you and other people, have a look. Where am I being invited to transform this? What is coming up for me? How is this going to assist me in moving forward? Is this something that is my trigger point that I require to process a bit before losing my shit at the other person? Okay. That has happened for me this week. There was an instance with myself and Alex where it was, I was in my grief space and he did some stuff for him and it activated me. Now, instead of losing my crappers at him and basically blowing up our relationship and leaving us both sitting in a space of hurt, I took myself out of the picture. I went quiet. Instead of getting angry, I went quiet. And I went into that place of self-reflection. So there might be a bit more of that coming up this week. Your next card is to listen to inner guidance. Wisdom travels within. You are aware of so much more than you give yourselves credit for. You know stuff. You have those funny thoughts like blessings may come to someone and you're like, I think, what would it take for blessings to come to that person? Because you've got an awareness that something will happen and bam, there it is. That person then rings you up and goes, hey, guess what? And you're like, see, I knew that. Sound familiar, Kim? Listen to that inner guidance. Listen to your bodies, please. Your bodies are telling you all the time the things that it is good for it, the things that are not good for it, the things that it feels uncomfortable with. That's where that resistance is. That's the uncomfortable stuff. But that's where it's challenging. When we're in the space of resistance, it means that we're challenging the status quo, and it's okay. You just have to come back to your heart and go, it's all right. Come back to that little you that is going, but I don't know about that. I don't know about walking across that tightrope. I don't know about that new job, and I don't know about that the interview or going into that shop or whatever it is. Just come back to the space, breathe, and say everything's going to be okay. And even if it goes a little bit weird and wonky, it's okay. It's a learning experience, and it's okay to have learning experiences. Just keep coming back to your heart. The next one is to let go of comparison, embrace the unique you. So stop trying to be someone else. Stop trying to be like anybody else. Just be you. That's why I've had the tagline for years, and I mean years and years and years and years and years. Be bold, be brave, be you. This is something that we as a society are breaking, is this space of comparison where we expect everybody to be the same size, the same height, the same hair color, the same shape. It's ridiculous because we aren't. We all have different skills and capacities and abilities. And it is necessary for us to have all those different skills, capacities, and abilities to make this world frickin' function. So stop comparing yourself to anybody else, except there's only one exception, I'm going to say, is if you use it as a point of going, ooh, that's exciting. I wonder what it would take for me to have that in my world. And it becomes an inspiration. That moment becomes an inspiration rather than a judgment. Okay? All right. The next card we've got is create a healthy structure, preserve your inner world. Okay. This is about boundaries. This week is obviously going to have a lot of energy moving in and out of your heart space. And so as a result, you're going to have to remember to have boundaries. If something is popping up in your world and it feels like it's going to be really heavy in your world and maybe not contribute much, then listen to that. Create those boundaries. So when somebody goes, oh, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? Create a boundary. Ask first, what will it create? If I choose to do this, truth, what will it create if I don't? Here's a gentle one that I chose today. One of my very beautiful friends asked me yesterday if I would like to catch up. No, they asked on Wednesday if I would like to catch up yesterday. Now, obviously, yesterday I was working, so that's an instant boundary. And then they were sort of talking about over the weekend, and I was just like, any day, probably except Friday. Friday, I have a session in the morning, and then I'm just taking time for me. And they were like, okay, that's great. So it's okay to take time for you. It's okay to say that I'm going to take time for me. You can do whatever it is that is for you. For me, I mean, I got to do some cross stitch today, and I'm freaking happy about it. I've had a really, really good session of doing cross stitch today. I cooked a roast chicken and I did some washing also, but I did a really good amount of that, and I just got to sit and watch the shows that I'm enjoying watching right now and just be me in that space. Create boundaries, healthy boundaries. So let's have a quick rundown of the week. Yes. So you're basically, the interesting thing is the card at the start was balance your commitment, and the card at the end was creating a healthy structure. Okay. So you're going to be asked to balance stuff a lot. Okay. I don't know. Cross stitch is therapeutic. I don't know when to put it down there. Oh, I know. That's why I have alarms. And our house is hooked up to Google stuff. So it's like we have things go dim at like 8 o'clock. And I'm like, I just put on my side lamp. And then everything turns off at 10:15. Except for the TV. Oh, dear. Thank you, Kim. I did have most of a day for myself. It was wonderful. And then I get to come back here and I'm all bright and happy because I created that boundary where I just got to breathe and just be me. Yes, alarms. We use them a lot here. So let me just, so yeah, you're going to have, but it's just a gentle reminder week this week, actually, of like, just create those balance, make sure you've got your boundaries in place. Allow those old past hurts to move on in your relationship so that you can have a nice new space to work with. And don't compare yourself to other people. Just love you for you. Love the people around you for what they are and who they are and what they can do and how they be. You know, that's just, it's actually a really beautiful, gentle week this week, I think. Might be a little bit crunchy, especially around the relationship stuff, but it's going to be more to do with the relationship with yourself. And the yummy card we've got is grace. So do everything this week with grace. Just have that in the forefront of your mind. How can I be in this space or this time or this interaction with grace? And just have that in your mind of the gentleness, the thoughtfulness, the compassion. That's, to me, what grace is. Melinda, same happens with jigsaw puzzles. Oh, I know. A couple of years ago, a friend of mine allowed me, what was it? I reckon it was like a 500 or a 750 piece puzzle, and I had it done. She gave it to me on one day, and this was around Christmas time, not last year but the year before. And I had it finished in a day. Like it was in not very long of a day. It wasn't maybe half a day. It was completely finished, and I'm like, hey. Oh, hilarious. Hilarious. So I actually uncovered a couple of jigsaw puzzles I haven't done yet. So I'm looking forward to those, but that will happen later. I have a couple of other projects that I wish to do first. One of them is going to be, because one of the things that I discovered in my pod stuff was a white dream catcher. And in my bedroom window, I've got a big, massive window that gets all the morning sun. And I got off a job just recently. It was one of those ones where they're going to be demolishing that part of the house. And so it's like, just whatever you want, you can have. And you know the old crystal chandeliers? So I got a lot of the crystals, the bigger crystals off the bottom of it, and was able to bring them home. I was like, there's going to be something I can do with this. I know there is. And then I found the white dream catcher, and I'm like, I can put those crystals together with the dream catcher, and then bam, I'm going to have a whole bedroom full of like rainbows. Yay. So I look forward to doing that. I may end up being able to do that over the weekend, this weekend. So yeah. Awesome. All right. Cool bananas. Melinda, please, can you pop your question in the chat so we can get moving on these big, beautiful, extended readings? Who wants to come and play with Melinda? I do agree about letting the inner child out. It's very important. I wonder what the next generation, like the kids that are coming through now, what their inner child is going to be craving. You know, for us, it's things like, I will, Julie. It'll be something that I'll take probably progress photos of, and that'll go up into the thing. Maybe I'll even put that as a little video for you guys. Oh, thank you, Catherine. Yeah, being creative gets my juices flowing, but also Anna. Yeah, good thing we don't have a tantrum along with it. Oh dear. I know, right? Like, there's times I'm sure. But I do wonder, you know, what will the young ones, when they get to our age, be? Maybe they won't need to let the inner child out because they've played with it enough for long enough before they had to, quote unquote, grow up. I still think there's a balance there, though, between the joyfulness of the childlike wonder and the responsibility of being an adult. Interesting. I'm curious to see how the kids handle things, you know, in their 30s and 40s and beyond. Okay. Ooh, interesting. Oh, I tell you what, there are times, Anna, when I don't want to put away my cross stitch, and it's like And then I get really sad sometimes when I've worked really hard at work and I've come home late and I haven't got time to or headspace to sit and do cross stitch. The beautiful thing about it is that I can just do, half an hour and I feel good even with just half an hour. But if I've had some really big, heavy weeks, and I've come home and had to do a bajillion things, and yeah. So, okay, lovely, lovely people. Who out there knows how to cook a lamb roast? I know I could look it up, but I need to know, what do you guys do to a lamb roast to cook it? What temperatures do you use? I'd like to know. Or do I have a bunch of vegans and vegetarians on my teams? In other words, I've got a leg of lamb sitting in the fridge and I need to cook it up. Oh dear. I don't think they have enough experience in the outdoors, making daisy chains, climbing trees, smells from the garden. They Google everything, and so they don't use all their senses. I would agree with that, Anna. Erin, you're better at a pork roast. See, I do know how to do a pork roast with really good crackling. It's just I refuse to do it in an oven that I'm going to have to clean. That's okay that you can't cook. Roast lamb. All right, Melinda. Okay. Melinda, this week, I'm getting that you might go a little bit into your monkey mind. And there's going to be a sense of, okay, cool. Because I was like, is this the love interest stuff? And I was like, And there's this the work stuff? No. I was like, okay, so what is it? Okay, so what this week is going to be doing for you, given that we're going into Mercury retrograde, that makes more sense. So you're going to be reflecting a lot this week on interpersonal relationships with family. Okay, and the first card that's come up is to shield yourself. Okay, it says protect yourself from harsh or fear-based energies by envisioning a cocoon of healing light surrounding you. So this means to me, and we know who this is relating to, and it is to do like that person possibly is going to be a bit active in your world this week and may say some stuff that will make you spiral a little bit into your mind. So and the reason why I say that is because the next card that comes up is this crown chakra. And pay attention to your ideas as they're messages from the divine guidance to start sent an answer to your prayers. So yes, the writing at the bottom, but also I'm seeing this as more of it's a sense that you're going to get bombarded a little bit, and that's going to there's going to be some aspects of this that are going to help you to identify some areas that, like some points of views and belief systems that you have gained or developed from a young age because of your interactions with that person. Now, with that, the next card, I just love your team because they tell you how to get out of it. So they've asked for you to write your worries and woes down and release them. Okay, so this is the God box. So this is why I'm like, this is really interesting. Your team's doing you a great favor. They're saying, okay, this is going to happen with this person. It's going to make you go into your brains and into your monkey mind and help you to suss out some stuff. Yes, and then it's okay to identify those points of views and those belief systems which have cropped up because of that person in your life, and it's okay to write them down and to release it. However you release it is up to you. Whether you just do I prefer fire release myself. You don't have to do fire. You can just do it energetically. But there's no reason why you can't write it down and then get a little, safe bucket out the back and something and release it with love, release it with gratitude, saying thank you so much for keeping me safe, to that point of view, to that belief system. Because this is also about creating boundaries, because you can then say to your body, to your heart, use your Ho'oponopono on that one and just go, okay, I hear you, I feel you, and it's okay for us to let this go now because this is no longer relevant for us. It doesn't have, this particular belief system no longer has to hold in our hearts anymore. Okay. The next one, funnily enough, is be willing to forgive. All right. So this also comes back to the person in question with those lovely belief systems that you've developed for yourself for coping mechanisms with that person, and it's okay to forgive. And it's about forgiving you, all right? And the fact that you had to make those belief systems to keep you safe, all right? And because what's happened is those belief systems to keep you safe is also keeping your most ideal partner away. It's instead of it being a barrier, it's a block, right? Which is why it's really important to let those go. This is why it was sort of like a love interest reading, but it sort of wasn't. That's why it's sitting there. They're like, yeah, you can focus on this stuff for this week, but it's going to come back to family stuff yet again. And it's going at a deeper level because of the upgrade that you've just been through. You'll be able to see this stuff with a lot more clarity. We've got books. Now, the book that came to mind was Attached. Have you read Attached yet? If you haven't read Attached, now's the time. Okay? Get that book out, start reading it or listening to it. I prefer the read version because of, if you haven't got it, I'll hopefully remember to bring it with me on Sunday so you can copy off a couple of the pages in there. That book there is really brilliant for helping identify some of the areas that you may be holding on to some of these belief systems and points of views. Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah. So this is about attachment styles. It's the white one with the heart shape on it that looks like two magnets. It's over there. So yeah, hopefully I'll remember to bring it with me. It's a great, great book. Helped me a lot, and helped me a lot with identifying not only the things that were going wonky in the relationship I was in at that time, it also gave me a lot of clarity around other relationships, such as with family members and things, and helped me. And it was more of reflection of who am I? Who am I when I'm in these particular relationships, and why is it I respond in this particular way? So what I discovered for me is that in general, I'm actually a pretty secure person, but I have an underlying thread of anxious. So I'm secure, anxious. And when I'm with somebody who is avoidant, then that sets off my anxiousness. And then I slip into stuff like people pleasing and putting myself last and, eggshell walking instead of speaking up and having my voice, that sort of stuff. It's just stuff that's come to me and at different times in my life, but thank you, Anna. And Melinda, we got community for you for this week to come. Okay, this, in other words, don't hibernate and be in the space of loving you as well as enjoying the love from others being contributed to. Okay. That was a good reading. Thank you, Melinda. Appreciate you. All right. And thank you so much for your donation because it helps keep the show running. And my business is grateful for it. I'm grateful for it. Find Your Fridays is grateful for it. But yay, we're all grateful. All right, Christine. Anna says it's hard to understand it when you're a lovely, beautiful soul and somebody just totally messes with your mind and makes you question that. It can be hard. The one way to look at it from a more positive way, I guess, is that what they are showing you is spaces where you require healing. And our partners are almost always going to challenge us in that way, because they're the person that, oh, yay, Juanita, thank you. Because that's part of their role. Just the same as we will challenge them by just being us, we'll poke them in the eye every now and then. So just, it's okay. It's okay. But like I said, instead of being in reaction around that stuff when it comes up, those crunchy moments, it's most important to be responsible for yourself first. And in doing so, take a break, take a breath, have a look at, and this take a break, take a breath isn't just for 5 minutes or an hour. It can be days sometimes, where it's like you just have to process it. And this is where the community side of it goes, is really wonderful. I have my friend in Canada and we use Telegram. And quite often what will happen is when stuff comes up in our world, we just send a message, a voice message to each other. And we just talk it out. We'll quite often end up talking it out and finding our own solutions, either during the talking session or in the period after. Once we've sort of got all the rawness out, it's like, oh, then the aha moments come in. And then the other person will respond. And it's like sometimes their insight as well will help, like her insight will help me with maybe an aspect that I didn't think of. So that's always beautiful. So yes. So Christine, my sweets. Okay, I have to jump back up to where you mentioned. Okay. I'm like, I think that was that one. Okay, you've said, when will you find the right person? Does the right person you're talking about? Okay, Edwina, cool bananas. Is the person that you're talking about for the rental? I'm guessing that's the one. Hi, Lisa. I'm really good, thank you, honey. says it's enough to turn you into an awful person, but reminding yourself of who you are always helps. Yes, absolutely. Okay. Cool. So the first question, Christine, is truth. Do you wish to find somebody with ease? Not yet, Erin. Juanita. No, not yet. Too much gas bagging. Sorry. But thank you for the reminder. Sometimes, I'm not saying that this is what's happening with you necessarily, is that we get a little bit addicted to the drama. And it gives us something to talk about. It gives us something to ponder. It gives us a problem to solve. And when we are looking at issues like things like this, situations like this, there's an element of judgment going on here of the right person versus the wrong person. It's a duality, right? So what if we have a look at it of what will it take for you to get or to find the most aligned person for this home, for the townhome? Cool. And what is it that you require to let go of for that to happen? That's right. So when we use words like need, it means to lack. So you're creating drama. Right? You don't require drama. You don't desire drama. Okay. I used to get a lot of drama in my world. Not so much anymore. Because I stopped people pleasing. I'm recovering. But in the majority, I stopped people pleasing. Okay, first of all, your team is saying that you're not listening to your inner guidance very well right now. You're not allowing yourself the space and the peace to do that. So they're asking you to do more breathing exercises because it's like, right, my stomach is really, really tight. Like it's almost like in a corset where you can't breathe. It's like, and it's all up here, breath. Send your breath down. Do some more breathing exercises, please. Give yourself time and space to listen to your own inner guidance. You know what to do. You remember what I said about the cortisol and the dopamine? When you're breathing up the top all the time, You're releasing a shit ton of cortisol into your system, and it's not letting you relax. You have to breathe down. Okay. So we've got the wordy cards. All right. So the question that I asked around this was, what does Christine require to do to receive the most aligned renter for her home? Okay. And the first card that came out is that you are about to meet someone who is faithful and loyal. Through them, you will learn how to develop these qualities more fully within yourself. Recognize the strength and tireless energy that you possess. Okay. So the person is there. They're waiting to come in. All right. And they're right there. They're ready for you. But there's just a couple of little things that you have to do. Number one is that it says cautiousness, subtlety, and tact are needed to accomplish your desired goal. Be mindful. So watch how you're speaking with people. Watch your words. Watch how you're speaking with yourself, how you're speaking with the home. The home is its own entity. You can ask the home itself, hey, home, or, town home, or if it's got a name. A lot of people give cars names and houses names. So it's have a chat with the house and say, hey, would you like to have somebody really kind and peaceful in you to live with you? Can you find that person and show them to me? Because I'd really love to have somebody like that living with you. All right. The next one is you are clinging too tightly to things. Let go a little and allow the energies to flow. So again, it's talking about the control aspect. You're trying too hard to control how this person is going to show up in your world and for this home. Let it go. Approach things from a slightly different point of view. Have a chat with the home and with the land that the home is on too, because that can be a factor. And ask them to contribute and to bring those things into your world. Bring your most kind, generous, loving, respectful and honoring tenant into the home. Okay. The next card that we've got for you is remember your hopes and dreams. They can still be a reality if you will allow them to be. So I know that we've spoken about allowance. I speak about it all the time. And our hopes and dreams can be pushed further and further away if our allowance is not high enough. If our allowance is not exceeding our awareness, oh boy. Our hopes and dreams, it's like they just get pushed further and further away because we become more in judgment. Okay? It's okay to say this person is not for my home, but at the same token, we could say, hey, house, please bring the most aligned person for you. And the next card that we've got is there are still further challenges to face. Recognize that you have the strength to overcome them. Try it one more time. So you can do this. This is like a little pep talk from your team going, it's okay. We are working on this, but we require you to work with us too. And so truth, have you advertised? Yes, you've advertised enough. You don't There's no need to do too much more than what you're already doing, apart from maybe putting it up if you haven't done so already on maybe have a look at some of the freebie places, like Facebook Marketplace can be a place to put rentals. But I'm getting that even that's not really required, because the most appropriate person, the most honoring, the most gentle and kind and calm and peaceful, the person that's going to honor the property by paying their rent on time and all of that sort of stuff, will see the property in the ways that you've already done the advertising. You've just got to lower those barriers and allow them to come in, okay? And that's going to be your challenge, is to soften a little bit. Softening doesn't mean that you're a doormat. Doesn't mean that you're going to get walked all over. Okay. This rental property is your journey. We have lots of moments in life where we are encouraged or invited, if you like, to see a different part of ourselves through our experiences. And this is yours. And this is you discovering the way that to be a property manager, to be a homeowner, and to do it in a way that really truly works for you. Okay. And it's not necessarily about following everybody else's plan or the thing that everybody else is like, you should do this. It's like, do what works for you. Do what lights you up. If what lights you up is doing a oh my god, it just popped into my head. Maybe it's because of what I've just been watching on TV. Imagine this, that you have like a speed dating, but it's speed dating for possible renters, where you get to sit down with each person for 5 minutes. That's it, just 5 minutes. And you get to ask all the questions you wish to have, and they ask theirs. And then it's like, cool, you've actually met the people in person. You can get so much more information about somebody by actually meeting them. So, speed dating with renters. I don't know, it's a different possibility. Hopefully that helps, Christine. Thank you so much for your donation. I am incredibly grateful for you. Alrighty. Debbie, my Kiwi girl. What is your question, my love? Oh, she's had that one at the ready. Goodness. Okay. Cool. I'm just going to grab something. Oh, is that what that one's for? Oh, cool. Oh. Thanks, guys. All right. So before I carry on, Melinda, this is the book that I'm talking about. Okay. And for anybody else who is struggling with interpersonal relationships, especially romantic ones, and just starting to see the themes and not knowing where the fuck those themes come from, those patterns, That's a really good book to figure that out for yourself. Okay. All right. Just give me a moment, just doing some pendulum work. Okay, cool. All right. Cool. I wondered why this deck wanted to come and play today. So this is one of the beautiful Alex's decks. Kim, yes, you can get attached in Audible. It's really, really good. Oh, I don't like shuffling these cards though. They're not so fun to shuffle. It's the Rainbow Oracle. All right. They've got some funny little knobbly bits on the side. Now let's have a look, see. So it is called Attached, and it is by Dr. Amir Levine and Rachel S.F. Hallier. But if you just type in the word attached, you'll see it. I love Audible. Bloody awesome. I initially I bought it, the hard copy, which I got from Big W. It was only like $12 or $16, something like that. And then I got it on Audible as well. Okay. Interesting. So first things first, Debbie, is that I did the pendulum work because I just wanted to just see where things were at and what it would create energetically in like 1,000 years' time if you continue to go with the decision that you've this huge life-changing decision, and what that energy creates. And it was a good yes. So that's fantastic. That's why I was pausing at the start there, is just to have a look at what does the pendulum say? How is that energy translating to like 1,000 years' time? So far, so good. And then my question was, for what does your team require you to know around this choice that you have made? And the first thing that they've said is muse. You're a source of inspiration. Become the muse of your own life and translate beauty into a universal language. Okay. So how cool are these cards, right? So to me, I see that as being one of those cards. It's like, go, fly, you've got this. Yes, you are your own muse and you've got this thing. And you are your own inspiration. So you will be able to continue to grow with that. You're not drawing off of anybody else or anything else or whatever it is that you're choosing to do. It's like, even if you are within and part of a larger company or platform or whatever you've chosen for yourself, you'll be able to use it as a bouncing board for what you are choosing for you and how you're choosing to work with this in the future. You'll be able to make it uniquely yours, is what I'm trying to get at. The next card that you've got is Rainbow Priestess. Trust your intuition. It's the language of your soul, a natural connection to your divinity. All right, so I'll show you that. Isn't that just a freaking phenomenal card? All right, so again, you are the leader of your world. You know this, you've got this. What you are choosing is going to help you grow in a really big, beautiful way. The next card that you've got is Apprentice. Follow your inspirations. Be courageous with your emerging talents. Okay. So what this is that you've chosen is going to definitely challenge you a lot, but in the best, most beautiful way, where you'll be going and expanding your knowledge base, you'll be expanding your talents, your gifts, everything will just continue to grow. And while there'll be challenging things, because there always is challenge when we're learning new stuff or growing into a new space or becoming a greater leader or whatever it is that it is uncomfortable at times. And you know that level of up leveling that is going to be required, and this is going to be no exception. The next card that you have got is Karma Release. All right. So liberate yourself from karmic patterns of the past and live a life of creative choice. So all of the spaces and places that you are still trying to work from, those old paradigms, those old pathways that didn't really serve you much at the time anyway, that's the old karmic stuff, and that's what's asking to come out and be released. So I would highly recommend that you use your the Mercury retrograde energies and also the solar eclipse on the 8th, I think it is, the 8th or the 7th or the 8th of April, to do some really big karmic work and just get it gone. Okay. Or have a really good chat with this entity that you're now playing with, to identify and have that conversation with them, to identify what it is within you that might be holding you back from the biggest, most beautiful, dynamic world and creation and relationship that is possible. Be brutally honest with yourself and write it down. Do your release work. Okay. Also, I'm getting cord cutting and root removal with the people who you had that in your world that helped you to create those points of views and belief systems in the first place. There'll be a bit of that coming up too around this. The next one we've got is Hidden Light. Allow nothing to dim the light within you. Turn your light on and release the love for yourself. All right. So this is about, even though you're going to be learning lots of new stuff and, you're going to be following your intuition, you in a much, much bigger way, it's all giving extra hidden light and loveliness and joyfulness and contributing to the collective as a whole. What an awesome reading. Thank you for that. And check out, so we've got the beautiful messages. I'm not sure you can see it because you're over in YouTube land, but there's a lot of love coming for you, Debbie. Wishing you loads of luck, and that it's beautiful and amazing, and they're picking up on the energy as well of what you're creating in your world, and everybody's loving it. So well done. Your yummy card is kindness. So keep coming back to the kindness that you be, because that's what will help. If you have that as your overarching theme throughout this period of transition, you'll be mwah. Thank you so much for your beautiful reading and for your incredible donation. I'm so grateful for you, Debbie. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in, even though it is quite late over in New Zealand, over in Aotearoa. Yeah, I still can say it. Haven't been gone away that long. And I'm grateful to have some lovely Kiwi action happening tonight. Thank you, gorgeous one. And I hope that helps. Alrighty. Cool. So let me see. Ah, you're welcome, my love. Oh, Anna, I missed that comment. Thank you. Your live is very peaceful and calming. Thank you to all of you on here. It's a beautiful vibe. Oh, I agree. It is. That's why I come back time after time. It takes a lot. Seriously, I battle with myself so hard when I know my body is requiring a rest. And it's like, but I want to do Find You Fridays. But my body just goes, no way, you have to rest today. And I'm like, no. All right, Erin Hardy, my sweet, are you still floating around, please? Because Juanita has donated for you, and I'd like to do an extended reading for you, please. If you are still floating around, can you please put your question into the chat? That would be amazing. Oh, Anna, you'd find someone else to be calm and peaceful with, I'm sure. Yay. Awesome. Erin, can you pop a question? What's sitting in your world that I can answer reasonably quickly? Please don't ask me what's in my future for the next 12 months or 6 months. It's a bit big of a question to ask in this little session right now. How did I know you were going to ask that? I could give you a really general reading. However, the reason why I don't like doing that is because you can make one choice that will send you on a completely different path to the one that I said. And then if you're going on this path up here, and in 3 months' time, you're way out here, and I said that you would be here, is because that's the timeline that you're on right now with the choices that you've made up till now. But if you're up here because you've made a different choice, you will then go into judgment. You'll go into judgment of you. You'll go into judgment of me. You'll go into, it's just not going to help you. It's going to slow down your path, and it's going to break your energy flows. So that's why I don't like doing year ahead type readings. I don't even like doing them for myself. So yeah. Also, a year is a long time. It's a long time. And with that, it requires a little bit more time than what I have available to me tonight with you guys. So, all right. It's like I love being asked specific questions. So if you notice that there was a specific question from Melinda around, it's not necessarily about being right or wrong. It's just what are the parameters that we can work with in this small set, like within this show, because otherwise it becomes an hour long reading for Erin, and that's not so interesting for everybody else. Exactly. And I break it down to make sure it's more accurate. Correct. And that's why, weekly readings are great. Specific areas to work on, things that are sort of puzzling you more at the moment, things that are maybe that are a bit crunchy in your world and that sort of thing. Those are the things that are really good to do quick, fast readings on. Oh, my roast chicken tonight was absolutely lovely. Oh my goodness. So I saw in one of my groups yesterday, last night. Oh no, it's okay, Erin. It's okay, darling. You can't know if I haven't told you. So there was this reaction video of this lady talking about how she's vegan, and I have vegan friends, so this is no disrespect to them at all. But this lady, she was talking about how she eats vegan eggs, chicken eggs that are vegan. And the reaction to it was this lady literally holding a live chicken, patting this live chicken kind of guy going. And this lady was saying how because the chickens have been fed a vegan diet because they're organic eggs, she will eat them because quite clearly they're vegan. And that she was saying how she will also eat organic chicken because it's been fed a vegan diet, so therefore it is a vegan chicken. And it's not meat because it's classed as poultry. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. Oh, and I was just like, oh, I hope she was joking, but I don't think she was. Oh dear. Sorry. That just cracked me up so hard. I'm like, oh my goodness. Imagine that. So for lunch, we almost had a completely vegan meal. We had bacon and eggs. Oh, we did have a vegan meal for dinner. We had roast chicken. According to that lady anyway. Because it was organic and free range. Oh dear. Yeah, I dated a vegan at one point, and I tell you what, it's easier being carnivore than it is vegan, to be honest, for me. Oh dear. All right. Sorry, Erin. Back to you, my dear. Okay, let's have a look at this. The dinosaur egg lady. Yes, the dinosaur egg lady. I can't remember what she said about the dinosaur eggs, but I think it was like they're not vegan because dinosaurs ate meat or something. I think that's what that was. You can get vegan lipstick. This is vegan friendly. Okay. Oh, night, Julie. Have a fantastic Easter weekend too. Thank you so much for tuning in. Watch the replay and grab the meditation tomorrow. Anna worked in a cafe and a vegan asked what we had on the menu, and oh my goodness, it was so hard to find something. Couldn't even have the soup as it was cream of soup. Yeah, vegetarian's a bit easier than vegan because there's so many things that have a little bit of something that is an animal product in it. It's a bit, although I do have the same issue now because basically we're sugar-free, and we do make one exception of bacon. Bacon has a tiny bit of sugar in the curing process, but it's certainly not consuming sugar in the quantities that we're used to. And so, but it's amazing where they slip sugar in. They slip sugar into all sorts of things. But yeah, vegan, very difficult. The only thing with vegan is you just do everything raw is actually the easiest way to do it. So it's vegetables and fruit. Essentially, that's what being vegan is. You can do obviously your grains and your rices and things like that. Being vegan means you can still do wheat. So you don't have to be gluten-free to be vegan, which is, I guess, nice for some people who can do that. I don't miss having all those things, though. I don't miss them. I love meat too. Much love barbecue roast dinners. But no, couldn't be meat-free. Yeah. Too tricky. Someone said you can buy bottled water. That's vegan. Oh, jeepers. Yes. All right. Okay, Erin. So I've asked your team, and your team initially that's when I closed my eyes because I was like, there's a lot of information coming in around different parts of my head. And so okay, with your studies, there's some areas where you're being a little bit too serious, and there's some spaces where you're requiring to remember to find some joyousness in your world. Because I was getting this area here, which is where the joy sits. You'll have to so the joyousness was feeling a little bit blocked, like you're not bringing in enough happiness, enough joyousness into your world to balance out all of the seriousness of study and work and all that sort of stuff. It's also getting some tension around your temples here. And so that's, it's your hopes and dreams. So your hopes and dreams are being, are you truly acknowledging what your hopes and dreams are? Because I'm getting a sense that it's kind of like you're pushing at the moment, and you're not necessarily sitting in what do you truly desire. And that's sort of what's happening through here. And what was the next one? Okay, it's cool. And so, because there's a lot of like tension around, and like you're forcing, like it's not a forcing, it's like you're just fucking busy. And you've not left yourself very much time for you, and for you to just enjoy your body, enjoy being in your body, enjoy having your body. There's a lot of stuff around your, like, being a sensual woman. There's not a lot of that like deliciousness coming through your world at the moment. That's what I'm just getting from what's happening up here. So that was the first part. It's Good Friday in the UK. It's Good Friday here right now too, but it's in the evening. So many don't have meat today. It's fish, and we here are talking about meat. Yes, I know. Yeah, I know. A lot of people do the whole fish thing. It wasn't a big thing back home, back in New Zealand when I was growing up. We just ate whatever. It wasn't until I came here that I went, what do you mean you have to have fish on Friday, on Good Friday? I don't understand that. Maybe it's a church thing. Who knows? And you also have a special needs son. Yeah, that requires a lot of brain power. So your team is basically saying to me, hun, that they're asking for you to find a small sliver of time that you can carve out where you just get to do something nice, soft and nourishing for you. They appreciate that you are doing all these things right now to keep your life going and to moving forward and all that sort of stuff. There's got to be some balance in there, or otherwise you're going to burn out. Okay. So first of all, they said, you know what to do. You know what you're doing. And you've got this. You've got the hang of this. It's okay to reach out to your community, to ask questions and things like that. Always come back to your inner guidance and just know what is true for you. What's true for you will always make you feel lighter. What's not true for you will always make you feel heavy and contracted. Okay? So trust your gut. The next one we have for you, Fish and Chips Friday. Yeah, true, Debbie. We did used to do Fish and Chips Friday, but it didn't necessarily line up with Easter. The next one that I have for you is peace, Erin. So peace comes from remembering that only love is real. All right. So this is coming back to what they were saying about please find some joyfulness and small amounts of peace in your life. There was one lady that I used to follow for a while, and she has a very busy family. She had like 4 kids and the husband and the business and then she got another business on top of the first business. And so she was very, very busy. And so she felt like she had no time for herself. But what she started doing was she actually woke up half an hour before everybody else, would grab her morning cup of coffee, and would go, if it was a nice day, go and sit out in her backyard and just be in that space of meditation. Maybe she would watch something that was nourishing to her, on a metaphysical level. Sometimes she'd just sit and just be with her cuppa and just watch the world going by and waking up in the morning. And that was how she managed to carve out that little bit of time to just nourish her. Now, whether you do that sort of thing, like in a bath or a shower, or maybe buy one of those foot spa thingies, and you can sit and do a foot spa for a little bit. It's also about teaching, like you said, you have a special needs son. It's about teaching him too that it's okay to take care of yourself. Remember, you're his mentor. And if all he sees from you is you're just going like busy all the time, he's going to grow up thinking that that's what's required of a woman in his world. And it's really, really important now to teach our kids that it's okay, even if they've got special needs, to take care of you. Because as we say, can't work from an empty cup. You've got to nourish yourself too. Okay? The next card that your team is saying is all is well. Just when you think that everything's up the shit and there's too much on your plate, they're saying all is well. Everything that you've got right now, they haven't given you more than you can handle. Okay? And everything is going exactly as it's supposed to. So with your study, with your work, everything is actually okay. It's just what they're asking you to do is to find that little bit of peace in your world so that you can have a bit more balance in the energies, so that you can balance out those cortisol and the dopamines. I talk about it a lot. When we're on the go all the time without the space to actually pause and relax, and in that relaxed time, you could do breath work. You could do simple breath work like the 7, 8, 9, 10 cycle. So you breathe in for a count of 7, you hold for a count of 8, you breathe out for a count of 9, and then you hold for a count of 10. And you can do it that way. And it is one way that I find to do breath work where I'm like, if my mind's really, really super busy, and I'm like, I know I need to calm down. I have to calm down. I have to find some space here. I do the counting, helps to give my brain a focal point that I can then latch onto, and everything else can just go. So then I can go, oh, okay, there I am, cool. And something that has just sparkled is that find some moments to make you feel sexy about you. Loving your body, even if it's like when you get out of the shower and you're rubbing moisturizer onto your arms and legs, if you even do that. If you don't do it right now, start. And as you're rubbing that moisturizer onto your arms and legs, love your body. Tell it just how beautiful and sexy and gorgeous it is with every single touch, instead of going, like, just hurry up, get it on, I've got to go. Slow it down. Be gentle. Be kind. Just that little brief moment can be enough to just make everything go. Okay. Yeah, Anna, you're giving some really good tips here. And yes, it is funny when you're feeling like the world's fucked and your guides go, it's okay, you're on track. It's like, what do you know? The next card that we've got for you is spiritual understanding. I am bringing you esoteric information and symbols, helping you to understand your spiritual truths. So this one here is around watch out for things like numbers. You may have been seeing a lot of numbers that are like doubled up, tripled up. You might be seeing patterns in numbers lately. Take note of those, have a look at them, look them up, see what the angels say about that. Okay. Okay. Is there somebody perhaps that you are finding a bit challenging in your studies right now? Yeah, they do. Yeah, your team definitely has your back. Because the next card that we've got is relationship harmony. And I asked, is this to do with work? And it was like, no. And I was like, okay, truth, is this to do with study? And it's like, yep. So there's somebody that you're having a little bit of a crunchy thing with in your studies perhaps at the moment, or maybe it's coming up. Your team is saying that basically they're working on just opening the hearts of everybody. So what I would suggest is before having interactions with that person, breathe deeply. And if you stay tuned, you'll get to learn the expanding out tool. We always do that at the start of every meditation. And from there, you can actually approach that person from that space of calmness. So it's really important that you find a few tools, put them under your belt so that you aren't having to deal with anybody. Like, even if they are challenging, like, have a look at that and go, okay, why are they challenging for me? What is it about me that is finding that to be a trigger? Okay. Cool. Cool. So I work with a lot of that sort of stuff in my healing sessions, my online sessions and stuff. It's one of those things, you can't change the event, but what we can change is the energetic impacts of that event. And that's the healing work that I do. Okay. And I'm sorry that you've had that to deal with as well. Interesting. I shuffle these cards every single time. And for the second time tonight, we have the word grace has come up. So no matter what happens in your world, come back to the place of grace, of honoring, of gentleness and nurturing for you. And realize that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to desire to be safe. And it's okay to receive unconditional love. And to give unconditional love. All of that. It's a beautiful thing. Thank you, Erin. Thank you for coming and playing with us. And a big thank you to Juanita for the donation that helped you get your first reading with us. So thank you. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Also had a great-great-grandmother. Ah, that's red. That's tracking. All right. Hopefully your great-great-grandmother, Grace, was true to her name. I also get that she's part of your team right now, and that's why my head was so itchy. Thank you, Grace. All righty. Here we go. Oh, thank you, Debbie, for coming to join us. You're beautiful. Thank you. I appreciate you very, very much. And yes, sleepy time for you. It's like 12:30 in New Zealand land. Yes, your great-great-grandma is definitely, sorry, grandmother. If I don't, seriously, some of our ancestors, our elderly, no, our elders, sorry, they will, if I do not refer to them in the most respectful way, or the way that they come to think is how they should be referred to, they will buzz me. Like, oh. So I was calling her grandma was definitely not okay in her world. She was grandmother. So grandmother Grace, yes, she's very very proper, full of love, but at the same time very proper and very strong, very, very strong. So I would be allowing her to assist you and to teach you how to bring the balance in without losing yourself. Okay. Alrighty. Thank you so much. And thank you. Okie dokie. Edwina, I will do, actually, seeing as Edwina has gone to bed, I will do Juanita first. Okay? Yeah, I agree, Anna. It's really awesome having strong ancestors looking out for you and being a part of your team. That's really fucking cool. So I say yay to that one. I'm just going to take that off now because we will come through and do Juanita's, then I'll do Edwina's, and then we'll hop into our healing session, our meditation. Okay. So Juanita, if you could please pop your question into the chat, that would be amazing. There was a healing session that I was receiving one time, and we were working on auric fields. And it was really interesting because all of a sudden I had a whole bunch of my female ancestors, females only ancestors. And leading the pack was my dad's mum, Grandma Pam. And in life, she was a very quiet individual. She didn't speak up much. She had her strength in her way, but at the same time, she didn't sort of rock the boat too much. And when she stepped in, I was just so overwhelmed with gratitude for who she be. And she said to me, actually, she didn't say anything at that point. She came through at another point when I was doing the QHHT session last year. She came in again. But in that one where that was the first time she came through in a healing session for me. And she didn't even have to say anything. She was just so present and so full of strength. And it was like she was the leader of all the other women in my life as far as ancestrals go. And I was just like, whoa. You know, I had known my great-grandmother on my mum's side, my mum's mum's mum, so my great-grandmother. And even she stepped back further than my dad's mum. And I was just like, wow, this is so cool. All right. But yes, when my grandma Pam stepped in at my QHHT session, she did actually speak on that one. And she said that she was really happy that I was doing this work, because I was allowing the magic to be seen and heard once more. And my Celtic background comes from her side, and so the little bit of Irish is in there, and a bit of the Scottish comes through from that side too. And she was essentially a garden witch, green witch, hedge witch, whichever witch you like to say, and she just did it in her own little quiet way. She didn't make a big deal about it. She was somebody who loved being organic, way before it became fashionable. She lived on a farm. She grew her own veggies. They had chickens, and they did their own home kill and all that sort of stuff. She was just very, very down to earth kind of a lady. She had the balance too of, not only did she love to get her hands in the dirt and garden and all of that sort of stuff, she also loved music, and she taught piano to the local kids for a long time. And then she just enjoyed tinkering away on the ivories whenever the moment took her, because her husband died 6 months before I was born. So my granddad Graham, and so I never got to meet him in person, but I have certainly felt him and known him in spirit. But yeah, so she had to learn how to be self-sufficient, which she did do, and she had kids and things to deal with. Well, actually, by that stage, no, they would have all been grown, because my dad was the youngest and he was away from home by that stage. But no, she still had to figure out life, and so she did. She created the balance between gardening and providing for grandkids, and as they came along, and family and all that sort of stuff. There was a lot to do still, even as a grandma. Yes, leading the way before time. I remember the first time I came across vitamin C tablets was at her house, and kelp and honey on toast, like a kelp powder, and honey on toast was something that she used to love to do too. But yeah, I feel very grateful to have, those ancestors in my world, definitely. The interesting thing is, and I just recalled this, there was a moment there. She was at it wasn't my healing session, sorry. It was a healing session I was doing with someone else. And they had a similar situation where the female ancestors stepped in. And I just got this sense that some of them were there not with the most honorable intentions. And so I was like, and this is where creating boundaries is really useful. And I just said, anybody who is not here for this person's highest and best interests and to create more in their world, fuck off right now, get out and leave. And they did. They turned around and they left. Oh, cod liver oil. Oh my goodness. I thank God I have never had to deal with that. So I'm waiting to see a neurologist on my right side of my body is numb. It's annoying and I get migraines. They found a cyst. Will they help me? Well, what a very interesting question, Juanita. So your right side of your body is numb. So that, on an energetic sense, tells me that you are detached from the right hand side. So you're detached from your masculine energies. That's interesting. So you may have had stuff happen in your life with the men in your life that made you, like from a young age, which made you create barriers for you to be able to receive your own masculine energies, because you have points of views and beliefs around what a masculine man or masculine energies is. And sometimes when we've had those really traumatic instances in our lives, we think, say, for example, I'm not saying that this is what's happened with you, is that if we've had abuse from a father, for example, we can then go, oh, that's what all men are like. They're abusive. They don't respect my body. They don't listen to me. They don't respect when I say no. So therefore, I don't wish to have any of that, any masculine energy in my body or in my space whatsoever. The thing is that we are all part masculine and part feminine. It's just that sometimes we do things like we cut ourselves off from part of ourselves as a coping mechanism, and that can then make us go numb. So yes, it's a neurological thing, but it's actually more of an energetic thing, and can potentially, I'm going to put it that way, can potentially be healed through doing different body work, energetic body work. So truth. Let's have a look at the pendulum and see what she says. Okay. All right. So what the pendulum is saying at this stage, okay. Sorry, I just have to catch up on all these chats. Okay, it's like the left brain hemisphere isn't connecting with the right. Correct. Christine, how I wish I could share my masculine energy too much, and I need more feminine. You're so sweet, Christine. Thank you. But she's actually got plenty of her own. She just has to learn how to reconnect with it. And wow, that is something you truly don't think about. I know. So I have seen this play out in somebody in my world who is very dear to me. They have a lot of numbness on their right hand side, so same side as you, Juanita. And when I was doing some work with them and I asked for them to bring through Father Sky, there was so much resistance to Father Sky because, of course, Father Sky is your masculine energy, your universal masculine energy. There was so much resistance to it. And that then allowed them to dive into that a little bit further and look at where does that particular energy come from, where does that resistance and those barriers and blocks come from. And that's when the realization about being blocked from masculine energy, even though they are a male, came to the light. It's like they've had quite the traumatic childhood to do with their father, and it was very intense. And so it was, like I said, just blocked themselves off from that side of themselves. So yeah. Righty-ho. So in relation to your neurologist specifically, the pendulum basically said, yes, they'll give you answers from their point of view. So it's kind of like a yes sort of circle, like it was a bit mushy-mushy. And when I asked, will they treat it holistically, it was a no. When I asked, will they treat it with medications and surgery, I got a yes. When I asked, will it actually solve the problem, I got a no. As Anna just said, this is trauma work. This is work where you are required, you're seeing it now so that you can work on it and heal it. This is inner child work that is required to heal this. And even the cyst. So let's have a look, see if Ina's got anything on cysts. No, she doesn't. Oh, yes, she does. It's just spelled differently. Okay, 145. Okay. So, Juanita, we've got cysts are to do with one or many or all of these things. Okay, so have a little listen and see where you're sitting with this stuff. Okay. Unfulfilled dreams, holding on to regrets which prevent you from moving forward, fear of being hurt and taken advantage of, holding on to disappointments and failures from the past, buying into fears and false ideals, allowing doubts and limitations to dominate your life. Beautiful, Juanita. So just have a look at those things and see how many of those resonate for you, because that'll give you a really good starting point to sort of look at doing some inner child work and stuff around that. Okay. Anna, that is a big question. They are continuing to work through what is, rebalancing and stuff. They also see a few other health practitioners that are holistic in nature, and they are continuing to work through. But yes, a big part of it has been released already, which is really fucking amazing. So there we go. Will they help you? It's if you do end up going to the neurologist, see that as being a checkpoint, as like official documentation of where you're at, and then do all the energetic work. You can do whatever feels the lightest to you to work with, whether it be me, whether it be someone who does maybe Reiki or theta healing. Like I do a bit of theta healing anyway, I do Reiki, I do all sorts of things. But you go with the person who you feel is going to help you the most. And I'm grateful that I have so many different body processes that I work with and all that sort of stuff. And the cool thing is, like, there's a lot of stuff that you can actually do online. I love working with bodies in person, so that we can energetically, I can get my little hands on you. But well, thank you, Fiona. You're amazing. And it's just a case of doing what works for you. You know, when you know about the world of quantum dynamics and the quantum field, you know that distance, time, and space don't actually matter. The energy still contributes through no matter what. So yeah, it's fun times. So thank you for playing there. Thank you for playing. So super grateful for you and your donation to Find Your Fridays. I am thrilled that you have come to play with us. Now, what I am actually, I had a feeling. I am going to, because I have another donation that was paid after I stopped doing donations, stopped doing readings last week. So that's still waiting till next week. Do you know references as to quantum explaining? Okay. What is the best one? There's a really cool book called A Happy Pocket Full of Money. And it doesn't sound like anything that would be relating to quantum dynamics or quantum fields, but it is done in a way that is really digestible. You can get it on Audible, so that's really awesome. And yeah, it's called A Happy Pocket Full of Money, and it explains a lot of what I talk about quite often, of, you know, things are not linear. If we already can see it, it's already ours. Oh, Anna, how interesting. So yeah. Aw, Anna. So yeah, get that book if you want to know more about quantum dynamics. I'm just very lucky. I was raised with a mum that was a bookworm who had a really placed a very, very high value on literacy. And she wanted to be an English teacher, but I kind of messed that up for her. Oops, I was born. But she still was a massive, massive bookworm, and through, I guess, osmosis and encouragement, and we didn't have TV until I was 7, all those sorts of things. So we were encouraged to play, we were encouraged to use our imaginations, we were encouraged to read. By the time I hit school, I already had my numbers and my letters down pat. Like, I was already reading at a pretty, I guess, basic level for a 5-year-old, a lot more than what some 5-year-olds go to school with these days. And so as a result, there's always a thirst for more knowledge. I love knowing and reading more things, and Audible has been an absolutely fantastic way for me to be able to expand on my knowledge without actually having to physically sit down and read a book. That's why I love Audible so much. There was, not last year, but the year before, I got through something like 53,000 hours on Audible. Not all of it was self-help or, you know, metaphysical or all of that. That was a portion of it. There was also a lot of other books that I used to like splatter in through that to just give me time to process and integrate the knowledge that I've just gained. Because we all need to do that. We all have to take that quiet time that's reading a smutty novel or listening to a smutty novel is my Mercury retrograde. Yeah, 53,000 hours. It was a lot. Mum, not so hands-on, just she was when I was little. I'll put it that way. Yeah. So yeah, she's good in her own way, and she did the best she could at the time with what she knew, and she helped to create the foundation for who I be today. And sometimes that was through trial by fire, and sometimes, more rarely, it was through nourishing, nurturing, and kindness and gentleness. But she did a good job at the end of the day. She did what was necessary. I'll put it to you that way. All right, so what I was going to say is I'm going to send Edwina a message after the show is done, and I'll let her know that her and the other reading that is already sitting there waiting to be done will be done first off the ranks, or whenever she comes in next week. Yes, I agree, Kim. Thank God my mum had me. Not that she ever understood me. You guys get this little sparkly bundle of fun, but she really didn't know what to do with that. I love her, though. At the end of the day, she's still my mother. All right. So that is what we're going to do for Edwina, so that she can get her reading in real time. And Christine, she says, all I know is mums do the best they can of what knowledge they have. Fake it till you make it. Yeah, there's a bit of that. Definitely. You had a foster mum like that. Yeah. You're picking up what I'm putting down. All I can say is she said at one point, Lorene, I don't have to worry about you. And this is like in my 30s, she said that. And I was like, what do you mean you don't have to worry about me? She goes, even if you get yourself into a bit of a jam, you always seem to manage to figure out how you're going to get yourself out. So I don't need to worry about you. Oh my God. And I was just like, but it's nice to know that you worry about me sometimes. It's nice to know that you like want to check in on me to make sure I'm okay. I don't need to do any of that. I know you're all right. You'll figure it out. You're strong enough. You're resilient enough. And I'm like, right. Thanks. Oh dear. So yes, it took me a long time to get to a space of gratitude for that, and for her hands-offness with me. She is she's still alive. She's an interesting bundle of fun, that one. And yeah, it took me a long time to realize the choices that she made and how they actually, well, at the time I saw them in quite a negative and judgmental light. Her choices created a space for me to choose something even greater that was going to create a lot of healing for the family, and for like our ancestral lines, going backwards, forwards, frontwards, up and down, sideways, whatever you want to call it. And if she hadn't been the type of mother to me that she had been, I wouldn't have been encouraged, pushed, shoved into doing this work. I probably would have ended up being married with 10 kids in a teeny tiny little town in New Zealand and not really fully enjoying my life, really, because this is my life purpose. It's my purpose to contribute to others in a healing kind of a way, and whether that be in my work or through these types of means, or whether it be through healing sessions, doesn't really matter. The healing work is still happening. So yeah. So yeah, it took me a long time. It took me until my 40s before I really could see any of that. And it wasn't until I was doing my holistic counseling course that all of that started to click in my head. And I was like, wow. And I actually instantly, I was in a space of gratitude for everything that she chose. She chose the hard path so that I could be who I be. Hi, Lynn. You're just in time for our evening meditation. Things happen for a reason, and I'm a big believer in that. Me too. There is always a reason. Even the hard, tough stuff, the traumas that Anna's spoken of, I see them quite often as course corrections. We are heading down one particular path that is not where we're meant to be. So we actually have to have a big shove, a big push to get into a different pathway. And sometimes that happens through a trauma, a relationship breakup, a death, depression, anxiety, those sorts of things that lead us down the path to the quote unquote darkest depths, our dark night of the souls and all that sort of stuff. That's all course correction stuff. And if we could only comprehend it in that way, we'd be able to move through those times with a lot more ease. Exactly. And if you don't deal with the trauma, it's going to keep coming up over and over again until you do. Fact of life, because you have to deal with the trauma. You have to deal with the energetic impacts of that trauma to be able to heal from it properly. Because that's what's necessary. That's why we go through the trauma in the first place. Alrighty. I wonder where we'll go on our energetic meditation today. Let's see where we go. I'm not getting any particular pings right now. So we'll just start with our expanding our exercise so that everybody gets a refresher on that, and remembering that you can do this little exercise anytime, anywhere. You don't even have to have your eyes closed to be able to do it. When you've got expert level, when you get to that point, you can do the expanding out without your eyes being closed. All right. So take a big deep breath in, people, and close your eyes. Breathing out. And now take your breath right down to the bottom of your belly, making your belly move, please. Your diaphragms move. And breathing out. Keeping your shoulders nice and still, breathing into your belly. And breathing out. And this time when you breathe in, imagine Mother Earth being pulled all the way up through your body, from your feet to the crown and out to the tips of your fingers. And as you breathe out, bring Father Sky energy all the way down. Down through your arms to your fingertips, through your body to your toes. Breathing in, bringing Mother Earth and the unconditional love all the way up. And breathing out, bringing Father Sky and the gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. Breathing Mother Earth energy up with the unconditional love. All that warm, fuzzy, lovely energy. And now as we breathe out, bring Father Sky energy and the gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. Now just allowing your breath to return to your natural space. Keep focusing on breathing through your belly though. You can take slightly shorter breaths if that's what feels comfortable for you. And now we're going to expand out our awareness in a big bubble. Above and below and out to the sides of you, expanding out your awareness to the size of the room that you're in. And now expanding out your awareness to greater than the home or building that you're in, up into the sky, down into the earth. Expanding out your awareness greater than the country that you're in, greater than the planet that you're in, rather on. Expanding out your awareness greater than the solar system. And now greater than the galaxies. And now greater than the universes. Beautiful. Keeping your awareness nice and expanded out. Focus on your body once more, and let's grab your sense of allowance, remembering that allowance is the ability to perceive, know, be, and receive the energies that are all around you from no point of view. You go from being the tight, contracted little pebble at the bottom of a raging river of everybody else's thoughts, feelings, and emotions, where you're aware of them and you feel battered and bashed about by them. And you expand out your allowance so you become like a big fluffy cloud. And that big fluffy cloud can see that raging river of thoughts, feelings, and emotions for exactly what it is. It's just energy. There's no trauma or drama. It's just energy. And you're no longer at the effect of it. This is the gift of having your allowance expanded out. Expanding out your allowance in a big, beautiful bubble around your body, above your head, below your feet, and a big, beautiful bubble going up into the sky, down into the earth, expanding out your bubble of allowance, greater than the country that you're in, greater than the planet, expanding out your allowance greater than the solar system, greater than the galaxies, greater than the universes. And now expanding out your allowance to be greater than your awareness. And just perceive as your body relaxes all the tension that was around your head, around your shoulders, around your arms, perhaps even in your belly, just melts away. Tonight we shall work on what do we truly desire? So quite often what happens is we think we know what we would like to have, but those thinks of what we would like to have is based on society, it's based on family, it's based on friends, and what everybody else's opinions are about what is the most wonderful things to have that are going to prove your status or that sort of thing. So what I'd like you to imagine is that you have your hands in front of you, and imagine that there is a big bubble, a ball of energy sitting in front of you in between your hands. This ball of energy is kind of like a crystal ball. And within this crystal ball, you're going to place the things that you desire to receive. This isn't about wants and needs. It's about what do you truly desire. If you're truly choosing for you, without having everybody else's thoughts, feelings, and emotions niggling in your ear holes and contaminating your brain. If money is not an object, what do you truly desire to receive? Whether that be in a business sense, whether that be in a romantic relationship sense, experiences, whatever that might be for you. Imagine those things now going inside your bubble of energy. This bubble of energy is your manifestation bubble and your actualization bubble. If you truly desire to travel more, place that in there. If you truly desire to have a most delicious, most aligned partner who nourishes you and nurtures you and honors you, where you can feel safe and happy and cared for and encouraged to grow, shift, change, and expand, place that into the bubble. You don't have to know what he looks like or she looks like. Gosh, if you wish to have multiple partners, put that request in there. Whatever it is for you. If you desire for your body to be healthy and at its most aligned equilibrium, place that in there. It comes from a space of honoring, not of judgment. And now I'd like you to imagine that there is a big stream of bright, white, opalescent light of unconditional love that is currently streaming from Father Sky and Mother Earth through your body. I'd like you to now redirect some of that energy through your heart space, down through your arms, down into the bubble, through your hands. Keep that beautiful flow of unconditional love coming from your heart, through your arms, through your hands, into the bubble, surrounding the bubble, giving it energy from both sides of you, from your masculine and your feminine side, allowing you the space to contribute to this energy coming into your world, the energy of all of these things, these experiences, people, moments. And as that unconditional love flows into this big, beautiful bubble, feel the tendrils of your love, of your magic, winding down and through your arms and down into the bubble itself. So you are now imprinting your unconditional love, your desires and your hopes and your wishes through to the beautiful things in the bubble. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And now as you look into that bubble, that beautiful crystal ball, and you can see your desires sitting there, move the bubble or the crystal ball to one hand. Place the other hand on your heart space. And now here comes the challenging part. For those of us who love to think that we can control everything, this is the part that is the most important. I'm now going to ask you to release your bubble, your crystal ball. Imagine it's a bubble because it's a bit lighter that way. I'm going to ask you to release it up to the universe, up to Creator, up to Source, so that your team and the Source or Universe, Creator, whatever you wish to say, can start working on this for you and with you. As the bubble moves away from you, you see the little tendril of light coming back down to you, to your heart. Because these are your deepest desires that have been placed in that bubble. Nobody else's. This is from you and your heart. And what you get will be the greatest contribution in your life. You've given those things the pathway to find you. You've shown them your deepest desire to receive them. And anything that is preventing you from receiving your beautiful, deepest desires, I now ask that you let it all go. Remembering, of course, those things you will receive, perhaps not in exactly the same way as what you think it will arrive. And it may not show up how in the shape or form that you think it will. Do not try to control it. Don't try to tell it how quickly it has to arrive. Just be open to receiving as it comes. And when it does, fill your heart with gratitude and say thank you, thank you, thank you. And even now, because you've been able to visualize those things, we can now have gratitude for them already being in our life energetically, because if you can see it, it's already on its way. In your mind, or if you can say out loud, thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done, it is done, it is done. Beautiful. Take a big, deep breath in. And now as you breathe out, imagine that you're standing underneath a big, beautiful crystalline waterfall. And that water is flowing over and through your beautiful body. And now stepping out from the big, beautiful waterfall onto a massive, warm river rock. You feel the warmth of Mother Earth underneath your feet. And now as you breathe in, bring the warmth of Mother Earth all the way up through your feet. And then as you breathe out, bringing Father Sky energy all the way down from the crown to your feet. And down to your fingers and your fingertips. Bringing Mother Earth and the unconditional love all the way up as you breathe in. Bringing Father Sky and the gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. Beautiful. Once more, Mother Earth and the unconditional love all the way up. And Father Sky and the energy of gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. Beautiful. And just remember, if you can see it, truly, truly see it within your personal ball of energy, your manifestation and actualization ball. Without trying to control it, manipulate it, or hurry it up. Especially bearing in mind we're coming into Mercury retrograde, where everything will be happening a bit slower. It's already yours. You just have to have the patience to get there. All right, that's it. And you're so welcome, my sweet. It was relaxing. That's why I like doing them at the end of the night. I hope you all enjoyed that one. Use it as often as you like. You can shorten it down. You can do the old, I expand out my awareness out beyond the universes, and then I expand out my allowance beyond that. That's the quick way to do it. But because we've got so many new people floating in and around at the moment, we have to keep doing it the other way, the more extended way, step-by-step way, so that we all remember how to do it that way. But you can just speed things up. Some of you who have been on the show and have gone through many of my meditations know that there is the quick way to do it. I quite often just go, I expand out beyond wherever I've been before. And that just keeps me growing all the time. And I know when I haven't expanded out for a while, because what happens is I get cranky, I get tired at times of the day where I wouldn't normally. I get swept up in other people's trauma drama. I don't get swept up too much these days, but if I can feel it coming in and I find myself being reactive instead of response. In the response space, I know that my awareness has exceeded my allowance, so it's time to expand out my allowance. It takes practice. You just got to do it all the time, every day. Just keep working on it. It took me ages to get it as a habit too. It's like with any new tool, it's like I've discovered the magic of Ho'oponopono being when I'm driving, and I can say, and I can keep repeating in my head, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, over and over and over in my head. And next thing you know, I'm catching up in traffic. Like there was one day I was running 10 to 15 minutes late, and I managed to catch up 10 full minutes of drive time by doing Ho'oponopono the entire way there. So yeah, pretty amazing tools that we have in our little toolbox, that's for sure. So I thank you all for coming to play with us tonight. Thank you for being a part of Find You Fridays. Thank you for contributing to each other and allowing your voices to be heard and seen. And I say seen because you guys are putting it in the chat. And I say thank you so, so much to everybody who has donated. And I wish you an absolutely fabulous Easter, however you choose to enjoy that. Whether you enjoy it or not, if you just are happy to have a day off work, good on you too for that. So for those of you who are going to church or anything else, enjoy. I hope you receive from that whatever it is that you're seeking. And in the meantime, get out there, do something tasty for yourself this weekend and this week. Remember to keep approaching all those crunchy moments from that space of compassion. And until next time, be bold, be brave, be you, my beautiful friends, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.